Morning students. Today we are going to learn the new lesson that is from your supplementary reader, The Making of a Scientist. It is actually written by Robert W. Peterson. He was a famous American newspaper writer who became a freelance author of a magazine called Articles. Isn't it? He was born in 1925 and died because of cancer on 2006. The present lesson, The Making of a Scientist, is the story of Richard Ebright. Let us begin. At the age of 22, a former Scout of the Year excited the scientific world with a new theory on how cells work. At the age of 22, a former, earlier he was a Scout of the Year, excited, people were excited to know that which theory on how cells work. The person who was a very famous in Scout excited the people with what? With a new theory. What is the new theory? He said that is how cells work. Richard H. Ebright and his college roommate explained the theory in an article in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. So actually he was not alone. His friend was there, his college roommate. Both of them explained the theory, that is how cells work. They explained in an article in which book? In the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. What is proceeding? Proceedings are institution or sequence of steps. It was the first time this important scientific journal had ever published the work of a college students. And generally they don't publish, this present journal doesn't publish the works of the college students. This is the first time they published the work of a college student. In sports, that would be like making the big leagues at the age of 15, hitting a home run, making the big leagues at the age of 15 and hitting a home run your first time at bat. So in sports, it would be like what? It is compared. The writing is compared to the sports. In sports, that would be like making the big leagues at the age of 15 and hitting a home run your first time at bat. Your first time at bat and home run. It is given the explanation in the end of the textbook. A home run in the game of baseball is when the batter scores a run after running safely around all bases and back to the home plate without stopping. A ball hit out of the playing field is also called a home run. And getting a paper published at the age of 15 in a scientific journal is here compared to scoring a home run while batting for the first time. So the publishing the scientific journal is compared to what? Compared to a home run. What is a home run? Home run in games means the game of baseball is when the batter scores a run after running safely. The batter is scoring a run after running safely around all bases and back to the home plate without stopping. A ball hit out of the playing field is also called home run. Getting a paper published is compared to a home run. I hope you understood that. What is home run? Let us continue. For Richard Ebright, it was the first in a long string of achievements in science and other fields. This was the first achievement. What was the first achievement? His theory is theory in an article published in a famous journal. That was his first achievement. Then what else happened? It was the first in a long string of achievements. Later he got a lot of achievements. This was the first one. And it all started with butterflies. It was all related to butterflies. You all know butterflies, isn't it? What is that related to butterflies? Let us see. An only child, Ebright grew up north of Reading, Pennsylvania. There was not much I could do there. He said, I certainly could not play football or baseball with a team of one. But there was one thing I could do, collect things. So when he was small, he was actually grew up where? In Pennsylvania. He thought that he doesn't have anything to do there because he was not good in he was not good in football or in baseball. So he decided that he can do one thing, that is collecting things. So he did, and did he ever. Beginning in kindergarten, Ebright collected butterflies with the same determination that has marked all his activities. As a student of kindergarten, he started collecting butterflies. He also collected rocks. Not only butterflies, he collected different types of rocks, fossils and coins. He became an eager astronomer too. Not only the collection he had done, even he was very much interested in observing the stars. That's why it is written as an eager astronomer. Sometimes star gazing all night. Throughout the night he used to look towards what? Towards the stars. I hope you understood this much. Next paragraph. From the first, he had driving curiosity along with the bright mind. He also had a mother who encouraged his interest in learning. She took him on trips, bought him telescopes, microscopes, cameras, mounting materials and other equipment, and helped him in many other ways. From the first standard, he had another curiosity along the bright mind. What was it? He had a mother driving curiosity along with a bright mind. Who is there to support him? His mother. She was always there to support him and encourage him. What did she do? She had taken him for trips, and she brought what also? Telescopes, microscopes, cameras, mounting materials and other equipment, helped him in many other ways. So the mother was always there to support him. I was his only companion until he started school, his mother said. So what was the mother's argument? She was the only companion who had Richard Ebright had. After that, I would bring home friends for him, but at night we just did things together. Richie was my whole life after his father died. When Richie was the third grade, when he was studying in third grade, who died? His father died. Who was the only companion he had? His mother. She and her son spent almost every evening at the dining room table. Evenings they used to spend together. If he did not have things to do, I found work for him. If he says that he doesn't have anything to do, who used to give him work? Mother used to give him work. Not physical work, but learning things. What she used to give? She was not giving him physical work. What type of work she used to give? Learning things. His mother said he liked it, he wanted to learn. But she knew that who liked all those works given by mother? Ebright likes. And learn he did. And he earned top grades in school. He was very good in studies. He was receiving very good grades in school. On everyday things, he was just like every other kid, his mother said. By the time he was in the second grade, Ebright had collected all 25 species of butterflies found around his hometown. So the list is given in the following box. So when he was what age? Second grade, he collected what different types of butterflies. How many types of butterflies? 55 species. See, the list is given down, white M, hair streak, all the names are given there. That probably would have been the end of my butterfly collecting, he said. He said that I thought that was the end of my butterfly collecting. But then my mother got me a children's book called The Travels of Monarch X. What did his mother do? His mother got a book related to the butterfly. What was the name of the book? The Travels of Monarch X. That book which told how monarch butterflies migrate to Central America. In that particular book, it was mentioned about the migration of butterflies. What type of butterflies? The monarch butterflies migrate to Central America. Open the world of science to the eager young collector. Who is the young collector? Richard Ebright. Who is there to support him? Mother supported him. What type of books did she buy for him? She bought The Travels of Monarch X. How did it help him? It helped open the world of science to the eager young collector. At the end of the book, readers were invited to help study butterfly migration. So, end of the book, actually the inventors were given an opportunity to help the study of about whom? Butterflies. They were asked to tag butterflies for research by Dr. Frederick Urquhart, A. Urquhart of the University of Toronto, Canada. Ebright's mother wrote to Dr. Urquhart, and soon Ebright was attaching light adhesive tags to the wings of monarchs. Adhesive means sticking substance. Anyone who found a tag butterfly was asked to send the tag to Dr. Urquhart. So what did he actually in that end of the book, what was the opportunity given? There was an invitation given by the author to the readers to help the study of butterflies. And what else they asked? They asked to tag the butterflies for what? For the research. By who was doing the research? Dr. Frederick A. Urquhart. And who called Frederick A. Urquhart? His mother wrote to Dr. Urquhart, and soon Ebright was attaching light. So he was ready to help tag what? The butterflies for whom? For Dr. Frederick A. Urquhart. The butterfly collecting season around reading lasts 6 weeks in late summer. 6 weeks it continued. The graph is given, and then now you can see if you are going to chase them one by one, you won't catch very many. So the next step for Ebright was to raise a flock of butterflies. He would catch a female monarch, female butterfly, take her eggs, raise them in his basement. Basement is cellar. Through their life cycle from egg to caterpillar to pupa to adult butterfly. Catching them is very difficult. So what did he thought that? What did he think that? He thought that it is better to raise them in his cellar. Then he would tag the butterflies' wings and let them go. So he wanted to raise the butterflies at his cellar, and then he will tag the butterflies and send to whom? Send to Urquhart, Dr. Urquhart. For several years, this basement was home to thousands of monarchs in different stages of development. So for so many years, he kept the cellar for what purpose? For developing different types of butterflies. You must have seen the different kinds of butterflies are written, and see the variations in the graph. Number collected, how many? Eventually, I began to lose interest in tagging butterflies. It is tedious and there is not much feedback. Ebright said. In all the time I did it, he laughed. Only 2 butterflies I had tagged were recaptured. Recaptured means retaken, and they were not more than 75 miles from where I lived. When he had tagged and sent them, they had reached only up to how far? 75 miles. So he was not, it was not a very successful activity. What did he say? That it is very tedious. A lot of work is there, and there is not much feedback also. Then in the 7th grade, when he reached the 7th standard, he got a hint of what real science is. He got little bit more knowledge about the science. When he entered a county science fair and lost, he was completely lost there. Means he was completely moving around and seeing things. It was really sad feeling to sit there and not get anything while everybody else had won something. So he had gone for maybe with a display. Ebright said his entry was slides of frog tissues which he showed under a microscope. He realized the winners had tried to do real experiments and not simply make a neat display. One is working model and the other one is the normal one. So he did not get any prize at all. Why? Because what did he show in the science fair? He showed under a microscope what? The slides of frog tissues. Already the competitive spirit that drives Richard Ebright was appearing. So he was feeling very bad. He was not getting any prize. So I knew that for the next year's fair, I would have to do a real experiment. So that day he decided that the next science fair he will do something real experiment. He said, and the subject I knew most about was the insect work, and I had been doing in the past several years. What was the subject he knew? He knew more about whom? About the insect, and because he was doing for past several years. So he wrote to Dr. Woodcourt for ideas, and back came a stack of suggestions for experiments. He discussed with whom? He discussed with Dr. Frederick A. Woodcourt, and a lot of ideas started coming. I knew that for the next year's fair, I would have to do a real experiment. For that purpose, he written a letter to whom? Dr. Woodcourt, and lot of ideas came. Those kept Ebright busy. So he was busy for preparing an item for the next science fair. Busy all through high school and led to prize projects in county and international science fairs. For his 8th grade project, Ebright tried to find the cause of a viral disease that kills nearly all monarch caterpillars every few years. Ebright thought the disease might be carried by a beetle. Beetle is an insect. He tried raising caterpillars in the presence of beetles. I didn't get any real results, he said, but I went ahead and showed that I had tried the experiment. This time I won. So what did he do? You just see 8th standard. Ebright wanted to find out the reason for a viral disease which is killing whom? The monarch caterpillars. He found that, what was it? Who is making all the problems for the caterpillars? A beetle. And what did he do? He started raising caterpillars in the presence of whom? The beetles. But he did not get any result also. And again he started trying and he got the result. The next year, his science fair project was testing the theory that viceroy butterflies copy monarchs. Different types of butterflies. The theory was that viceroys look like monarchs because monarchs don't taste good to birds. Monarch butterflies were not eaten by whom? By the birds. Viceroys, on the other hand, do taste good to birds, but viceroy butterflies were eaten by birds. So the more they look like monarchs, the less likely they are to become a bird's dinner. Ebright's project was to see whether, in fact, birds would eat monarchs. He found that a starling would not eat ordinary bird food. It would eat all the monarchs it could get. Ebright said later, research by other people showed that viceroys probably do copy the monarchs. This project was placed first in zoology division and third overall in the country science fair. So he started the different activities of the different butterflies and why the birds prefer to eat viceroy butterflies than whom? Than the monarch's butterflies. So this project has won different prizes, that is first in the zoology division and third in overall county science fair. In his second year in high school, now he reached in the high school, Richard Ebright began the research that led to his discovery of an unknown insect. Now he was continuing with his research work and he found an unknown insect, that is hormone. Indirectly, it also led to his new theory on the life of cells. Because of the his discoveries, what happened? A new theory also he found, that is related to what? The life of cells. The question he tried to answer was simple. What is the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots on a monarch pupa? What was his question? He was trying to answer the question, what is the purpose of that spots? Golden spots on the monarch pupa. Everyone assumed the spots were just ornamental. Ebright said, but Dr. Woodcourt didn't believe it. So people started saying that that's a decorative piece, but who did not believe that? Dr. Woodcourt. So to find the answer, Ebright and other excellent science students first had to build a device that showed that the spots on the monarch pupa were producing a hormone necessary for the butterfly's full development. His friends and he discovered that the spots were producing a hormone that is necessary for whose development? The butterfly's full development. This project won Ebright first place in the county fair and entry in the International Science and Engineering Fair. So this opened the way for participating in the International Science and Engineering Fair. There he won third prize for zoology. He also got a chance to work during the summer at the entomology laboratory. What is entomology? That is scientific study of insect. Laboratory of Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. The Army Institute of Research, he got a chance to work. As a high school junior, Richard Ebright continued his advanced experiments on the monarch pupa. That year, his project won first place at the International Science Fair and gave him another chance to work in the Army laboratories during the summer. Again, he continued with his research and he put up that activity in the fair, and he got the first prize, and they had given him what? Permission to work where? Work in the army laboratory. That is also during summer season. In his senior year, he went a step further. He grew cells from a monarch's wing in a culture and showed that the cells would divide and develop into normal butterfly wing scales only if they were fed the hormone from the gold spots. Another thing he found out. What was that? If cells could divide and develop into normal butterfly only if what happens? Only if they are fed by what? A hormone from the gold spots. That project won the first place for the zoology at the International Fair. He spent the summer after graduation doing further work at the Army laboratory and the laboratory of the US Department of Agriculture. So his experiments helped him to get the laboratories for his further experiments. The following summer, after his freshman year at Harvard University, Ebright went back to the laboratory of Department of Agriculture and did more work on hormone from the gold spots. He did not leave the experiment or research there. He continued with the research work on what? The hormone, hormone from the gold spots. Using the laboratory's sophisticated instruments, sophisticated means complicated instruments, he was able to identify the hormone's chemical structure. So he found out about what? The hormone's chemical structure of the hormone. A year and a half later, during his junior year, Ebright got the idea for his new theory about the cell life. So 1.5 years later, he found a new theory. It came while he was looking at X-ray photos of chemical structure of a hormone. From where did his new theory? When he was observing an X-ray photo of a chemical structure of a hormone. When he saw those photos, Ebright didn't shout Eureka. So people used to be so excited and make sounds. But here, Ebright did not shout and said Eureka or even I have got it. He didn't say that I have got it, but he believed that. Along with his findings about the insect hormones, the photos gave him the answer to one of biology's puzzles, how the cell can read the blueprint of its DNA. So, DNA is the substance in the nucleus of a cell that controls heredity. It determines the form and function of the cell. Thus, DNA is blueprint for life. What is the actual result he got it from the research? He learned that what is important? DNA is important because DNA is the blueprint for life. Ebright and his college roommate James R. Ong worked all that night drawing pictures and constructing plastic models of molecules to show how it could happen. Together, they later wrote the paper that explained the theory. He was not alone. One of his roommates was there. What was his name? James R. Ong. What did they do? They started drawing pictures and they started making plastic models. Surprising, no one who knew him. Richard Ebright graduated from Harvard with highest honors, second in his class of 1550. He was second rank. Ebright went on to become a graduate student researcher at Harvard Medical School. He did not stop there. He continued with his research work at where? Harvard Medical School. There he began doing experiments to test his theory. What did he do there? He continued with his experiments to test his theory, cell theory. If the theory proves correct, it will be a big step towards understanding the process of life. He was thinking that he can get more knowledge about the process of life. It might also lead to new ideas of preventing some types of cancer and other diseases. All of this is possible because a bright scientific curiosity. Everything is possible because of the bright curiosity. His high school research into the purpose of the spots on a monarch pupa eventually led him to his theory about cell life. So we learned that the monarch pupas, what was there? Spots was there on the spot on the on monarch pupa. That theory helped him to know about what the cell life. Richard Ebright has been interested in science since he first began collecting butterflies. That we learned, but not so deeply that he has not time for other interest. Ebright also became a champion debater. You know that the person who participates in debates is known as debater. So you must be thinking that he is only interested in collecting butterflies. Then it is wrong. He was very good at debates, public speaker, and a good canoeist. What is a canoeist? The person who enjoys boating. Excuse me. And all around outdoors person. He is also an expert photographer, particularly of nature and scientific exhibits. So he also very good in photography also. In high school, Richard Ebright was a straight A student because learning was easy. He turned a lot of his energy towards debating and model United Nations clubs. He also found someone to admire. Richard A. Weyher, his social studies teacher and advisor to both clubs. Mr. Weyher was the perfect person for me then. He opened my mind to new ideas. Ebright said. So now he is Mr. Richard, that is the social studies teacher. He was very much interested in him because he was an advisor also, and he was the perfect person for him because the teacher opened his mind to new ideas. That was who said? Ebright said. So he was influenced by his mother first, then the social studies teacher. Richard would always give that extra effort. Mr. Weyher said, what pleased me was, here was this person who put in 3 or 4 hours at night doing debate research besides doing all his research with butterflies and his other interests. He used to spend a lot of time in perfecting the debates and as well as in his research work. Richard was competitive, Mr. Weyher continued, but not in a bad sense. He was very good in competition, not in the bad sense. He explained, Richard was not interested in winning for winning's sake or winning to get a prize. Prize-ന് വേണ്ടി മാത്രമല്ല അദ്ദേഹം participate ചെയ്തിരുന്നത്. Rather, he was winning because he wanted to do the best job he could. For the right reasons, he wants to be the best. നല്ല കാര്യത്തിനായിട്ട് best ആകാനാണ് who wished to be like that? Mr. Ebright. ആരുടെ വേർഡ്സ് ആണ്? സോഷ്യൽ സ്റ്റഡീസ് ടീച്ചറിൻ്റെ. And that is one of the ingredients in the making of a scientist. That was the best part in making of a scientist. Start with a first-rate mind, add curiosity, and mix in the will to win for the right reasons. You should be very hardworking. You should have a first-rate mind. Then you can win. Ebright has these qualities. From the time the book The Travels of Monarch X opened the world of science to him, Richard Ebright has never lost his scientific curiosity. Who had bought the book for him? His mother had bought the book for him. That opened what? The world of science to whom? Ebright. Then afterwards he never lost what interest? The scientific curiosity. So his mother was the basic thing, person who helped him to become a scientist. So we learned the lesson about whom? Richard Ebright, how he became a scientist. I hope you understood. You can read the lesson thoroughly. Then if you have doubts, you can contact me. Now we will do the workbook. Morning students, let us discuss the homework. That is page number 46, first exercise. I hope you have done it. Second one, First one is already given the answer. Second one, appalling hunger and cold means people were suffering from extreme hunger and cold. Start of the siege means or isolating Leningrad started. Next, blockade grams of food given to every individual during the blockade or the siege of Leningrad. Next, list the words from the passage which are related to the war. For example, bombardment. Next word is siege, S-I-E-G-E, air raids, artillery, bomb shelter, shells, blockade. Next, question number 3, answer the following questions. The first one, A. Answer is, the people of Leningrad were made captives when the German army laid siege to the city. B. Why did the people under siege welcome the bad weather conditions? Because bomber planes could not fly on such days. Next question, C. What were the fears in the mind of the people? The people dreaded sunny days and moonlit nights when the Germans would be sure to bomb their city. Next question, have the people lost hope or reconciled to the existing situation? Answer, the situation was so hopeless that the people reconciled to the existing situation. Next, tick the correct answer. The option D is the correct answer. The next page, exercise, next passage, exercise number 1. That is, you have to write the words. Find some words and phrases from the text which seem different as compared to the English language at present. First one is whither means where, gotten means got, whereupon means as a result of this, and or and then. Next question number 2, what is being talked about the first paragraph of Daniel Defoe's journal? The plague that returned in Holland, particularly at Amsterdam and Rotterdam in 1663 is being talked about in the first. Next, second question, how was news about important events circulated during those days? Important events were circulated during those days by the letters of merchants and others who corresponded abroad. From them, they were handed about by word of mouth only. Next question, why did the rumor about the plague die off? Because of constant efforts of the government, it tried to prevent its coming over, but all was kept very private and secret. Next question, how was the news about the plague confirmed? 2 physicians sent by government made an inspection. They publicly declared that the 2 men had died of the plague. Next, tick the correct answer. Answer is option number D. Next, vocabulary related. I can't tell you the plan because I don't know about it. That is already done in the textbook. The second one should learn to defend oneself. C, answer is who. D, answer is yours. E, answer is damage. F, answer is concern about. Next, grammar. First one, that is, you have to see the idiomatic expressions given below. Then you find out the meanings and make sentences. I am going to tell you the meaning. You have to make the sentences. All is fair in love and war. I think we have done it. That is, no one cares for fair and foul in love and war. I think that exercise we had done it. I'll repeat once again. Icing on the cake means additional honor. Call the shots means to be the person who controls the situation. Chalk and cheese means completely different. Breaking the ice means breaking the silence or warming up. Raining cats and dogs means to be raining heavily. Next exercise we are done. The next one is in next lesson, that is the 100 dresses. I asked you to do the exercise, that is the first passage, question page number 58 and 59. Questions are there in 59. The first question, what had Harriet done for herself and her community? Harriet was the Moses of her people who suffered because of racial discrimination. She fought against slavery and for the freedom of her people. Question number 2. What was the title of the first book written on Harriet Tubman and who wrote it? The first book was titled Harriet Tubman, The Moses of Her People. It was written by Langston Hughes. Next question. How had Harriet's life been hard but dedicated to a cause? She fought against slavery and suffered a lot for the freedom of her people. Question number 4. What comparison had Frederick drawn between his and Harriet's life? Fought against slavery and racial discrimination publicly, and the Moses followed her. Frederick suffered for the same cause in a private way, helping the suffering bondness and women. The next question, that is, take the correct answer in page number 660. The option D is the correct answer. Next, take the question number 6, take the correct answer. That also option number D is the correct answer. Next, text number 2, that is comprehension passage 2, page number 60 and 61. The first question, who was born exactly 300 years after the death of Galileo? That is Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking died on 14th March, which happens to be his old rival's birthday. Who was this rival of his? Albert Einstein. Take the correct statement. That is question number 3. Take the correct answer. The statement D is the correct statement. Next one, question number 4. Take the correct meaning of the word preposterous, ridiculous. That is the option number C is the correct answer. Next exercise, why was Professor Hawking said to be proficient in comedic pause? Because it is believed that comedy lies in the timing. Life would be tragic if it was not funny. Which song did he sing? Monty Python Galaxy song. Next, why was Stephen Hawking's singing of the song described as an unbelievable treat? Because he corrected the technicalities in the song's words and numbers. It was described as unbelievable treat on it was sung by smartest humans in the universe. What did author shared with the genius Stephen Hawking? For a moment, he shared a laugh and thought himself to be the same orbit as him. Why did Stephen Hawking say that life would be tragic if it was not funny? Did he believe in it? Stephen Hawking was perfect in the art of comedic pause and considered and believed that life would be tragic if it was not funny. Next question, that is question number 10, page number 62. Take the correct answer. That is option number C is the correct answer. Next, page number 63, vocabulary. Physicist. We had done that. Physicist is the first one. That is, we have done one who specializes in the branch of science. Cosmologist is the person, a scientist who studies the origin and nature of the universe. Proficient is the first choice. That is someone proficient and skilled in doing something. Genuine is one who is sincere. That we had done it. Next, find one word substitutions for the following expression. Exercise number 2, page number 63. One who brings about or carries out a harmful, illegal and immoral act. That is perpetrator. P-R-E-P-E-R-P-E-T-R-A-T-O-R. Once again, I will repeat. P-E-R-P-E-T-R-A-T-O-R. The unjust or prejudicial treatment of different categories of people. Discrimination. A large number of people or things. Multitude. The state of being a slave, that is bondage. To admit that one has committed or done something wrong, that is confess. Tell someone something positively to dispel any doubt. Assure. Following are some expressions that reflect appreciation. Make a list of other expressions that can be used. The first one is bravo. Second one is wonderful. Third one, deserves standing ovation. Next one, matchless, unbelievably great, incredible, mind-boggling but magnificent, breathtaking, exceptionally great. Then thumbs up. Now next grammar. Look at the words in italics in the sentences given below. Write the forms of the words such as verb, adjective, noun, adverb, etc. in the space provided. First one, comforting is an adjective. Change it into a verb. Comfort. Massively is an adverb. Change it into adjective. Massive. Believable is an adjective. Change it into a verb. Believe. Suitably is an adverb. Change it into adjective. Suitable. Irreverent is an adjective. Change it into an adverb. Irreverently. Likely is an adverb. Change it into an adjective. That is like, or we can say likable. Next, editing is homework. You have to do the exercise editing in page number 64. Next, you take the next lesson, that is the 100 dresses part 2. The first passage, reading comprehension for your homework. Second passage also for you to do, that is your homework. Then the next exercise, page number 75, vocabulary. Make 10 words or 5 or more letters from the word given below. Fright. You can write scare. The meaning of such words are given below, which will help you to find out the words. First one is scare. Second one, artistic words. Craft. Fertilizer. Manure. Not certain. Unsure. Next exercise. Next page. The same exercise. Page number 76. False means inaccurate. You can write unfaithful. Next, unsound. Next one, one's essential characteristics or temperament. Nature. A small river. You can write stream. Ways or methods. You can cite manner or means. Wooden box. You can write crate, C-R-A-T-E, or casket, but here the words are given there, so more suitably is crate, C-R-A-T-E. Border enclosing a picture, that is frame. Next, grammar exercise, page number 76. The first one, my sister was so scared she couldn't watch the dream. Match it with, whereas I didn't find it frightening at all. Number 2, although most critics agreed that the theatre performance was his best ever. You have to match with, I was rather disappointed by his performance. Third one, on our way back, we thought although snow is now unlikely, we can expect rain later on. On reaching home, my sister wanted me to help her with her science project. You can write, but I told her to ask a friend. Fifth one, whereas in most of his other plays, he plays the role of a villain. In this one, he is definitely the good guy. Next is relative clause. We learnt, put the relative clauses and write the sentences. First one, Mary wrote a poem. I begged the first prize in the creative writing. I bagged the first prize in the creative writing competition. The poem that was written by Mary. So, you can change it using a relative clause. The poem that was written by Mary bagged the first prize. Mr. Goyal is seriously ill, so he could not go to office. Mr. Goyal, who is seriously ill, could not go to office. Simran gave a dance program yesterday and it is being appreciated by everybody. The dance program which was given by Simran is being appreciated by everybody. You are going to meet Amit tomorrow. He is an active member of our school's environment club. You are going to meet Amit tomorrow, who is an active member of our school's environment club. The man is rather strange. He lives next door. The man who is strange lives next door. Anu's name was missed off the volleyball players list, so he was very unhappy. Anu, whose name was missed off the volleyball players list, was very unhappy. Next, you take page number 78, editing. You can do it as homework. The editing can be do it as homework. Next exercise, choose the punctuation mark that can be used in the blank place in each sentence. The first one is A. Electricity has two main uses. There it is. The fourth option, semicolon, is the correct option. B. The second option, comma, is the correct option. C. The second option, that is comma. D. The correct option. We decided to have rest. It was too hot to go. There again it is comma. That is the second. Next is listening task. You don't have to do it. The next class we will begin the next lesson, that is the glimpses of India. Please do your homework. Thank you.